streets.
And fawn.
And what?
Fawn.
What's fond?
What is fun?
People pleasing. Try to make people happy so that you feel
Oh,
safe.
okay. We got to talk about that one.
What the fuck is that?
I would start by saying cultivate the things that you're ingesting, right? Just like you're aware of what you eat, be aware of what you consume as far as media goes. I had a lot of angst as a young person, a lot of anger and a lot of frustration because the outside world didn't support or appreciate me as I was. That's how I saw it as a young person. But my vision for helping people heal, I want to open community health and wellness centers that are not dependent on people's ability to pay.
What's happening? It's Gator,
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Mamba.
and it's the Gator Mamba Show.
Well, welcome to another episode. Two of the coolest motherfuckers you ever met in your life. So we'll start off the show with no further ado. Just checking in with you and see what you do this weekend, man. Last weekend, what were you up to?
Well, so as you know, I finally used that trip to Mexico that you gave to me. Boy, did I have a fantastic time. It was like a whole new world.
Yeah,
It
for
was
real.
different, boy. I mean, that nature, them trees, the smell, the scenery. Boy, that I can't even explain. You know,
that motherfucker set you off.
that motherfucker set me off, Jack. And then listen, it was a little young man in there, right? It was a little young man in there. And, you know, my daughter was sitting with me. This nigga was up at the top, right? He tipped his hat, right? Little dude, you know, tipped her hat to her. You know, this is my 17-year-old, right? So I just tried to glance up to see what he is. He didn't disappear. I was just like, that's how I knew he was trying to get her, right? I was like, because he would have stayed if he wasn't trying to get her. I was like, oh, that's how they do in Mexico. They hit the hat
through,
on you.
come through, mommy, come through.
Yeah. I like it. No, I
Yeah.
like their style, man. I like everything about them. They get down. They so nice. They got the little gesture, you know what I mean? Let you know it's
That
all
heart
love.
on their chest.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was off the chain, man.
Yeah.
So I want to say, you know, I like to pay it forward. So if any of our viewers who are, how do you say that, logged in to us,
Subscribed.
subscribe. If
He
they
said locked in. That's how you let you know old niggas is talking.
if they come to me and they be like, "Hey, senor," I'm gonna give them a Mexican trip. Yep. That's all they used to say. That's all they said to me. Hey, senor. Hey, senor. So my
you
kids say that.
Somebody got to come up to you and say, "Hey, senor,"
Got them.
and you got to.
I got 'em a
but they
Mexico
got to be
trip.
subscribed though.
They got to be subscribed.
Okay.
It's proof is in the pudding.
That's pretty damn generous. Okay, well we can pop that.
Nigga, not you. Not you.
And let me double up on that because you didn't tell them where it was. Vedanta and it's Puerto Vallarta, and that place, because you've been to Mexico before, ain't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mexico City.
Yeah. So what would you say was was it different?
So the Mexico City was the spiritual situation. You know what I mean? And this was more of a like where rich people go. You know what I mean? And they don't tell nobody. You know what I mean? Like it's like a secret or something. Where it's because you can only be in on things if you remember, right? So don't nobody really know about it. But then you on this resort in this luxury and
Fucking phenomenal.
Man, it's like being on a ship on land.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It was one of the most beautiful experiences to me because the people were amazing, always pleasant, always cool, always respectful, always helpful. They spoke Spanish and English. Most of them just spoke Spanish or whatever. So it was actually fun to play when I was down there. Fun to play around with the little bit of Spanish that I knew. But you know, they saw a nigga down there speaking a little bit, so I felt a little chest out a little bit, like, hey, that's the homie right
They must
there.
have looked at me like you just a nigga.
Yeah.
All I can
You
say
don't
is
know
"Sí."
shit.
See, Buenos dias.
But no, that's the spot to
that.
go to. And when you go there, they teach you a whole hell of a lot about that area as far as Mexico. I guess when it comes to Mexico in it itself, even what's called the archipelago. That's your Panama, your Costa Rica, I think Puerto Vallarta is a part of that too.
Yeah.
But all of that, they got a different type of people, and they're more of the Aztec-y, Inca-y type of people. So you'll get that native feel more.
Yeah.
And then when you
yeah.
go further up north, like Mexico City and shit, that's where you get
No,
your.
Mexico City is further south.
Is it further south?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then when you go to maybe what is it called? Starts with a I forgot. I can't think of the name, but almost by California.
Okay.
Right by there, so it's almost by Southern California or whatnot. But they got your SA type
yeah.
Mexicans and shit
Yeah,
like
it
that,
was
so it's totally
the more ghetto.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, the ghetto. I ain't see no ghetto
Basically.
Mexican. I seen some. He tried to sell me some weed on the boardwalk, but you know what I mean. He wasn't
Some mota.
But he told me he was from Seattle. He like, I'm straight out of Seattle, man. So I was like, oh well.
Down there trying to make
you
some
ain't
bread.
no, you ain't no Mexico. But anyways, I gave him 200 pesos, and he was like, I'm trying to feed my family. And the way we spend it, 200 pesos ain't nothing.
Right.
But obviously to him, 200 pesos. So somebody,
Goes a
maybe
long
their
way.
whole economy is like, anybody who visit, let's trick them.
Oh, so they overpay.
Yeah,
Technically.
Because why is 200 a lot for him, but it ain't a lot
It
for
ain't
me?
a lot for me. Yeah.
But I don't know. That's their deal.
But well, I'm glad you and your family went. Y'all had a phenomenal time. That's what I expected. Y'all definitely deserve that. What else? Oh, didn't you do something else? Didn't we do something else? Finishing off on this cleanse.
Yeah,
wanna talk about that?
I thought you was gonna say when you tell us what you did for your weekend.
This is my weekend because I'm adding him to it as well, even though he was in another country. But started this quarterly. We do a 72-hour water fast, right? And in this fast, how I did it this time, actually, this is the best time. This is the best time that I've ever done it, given the way that I did it. Of course, it was water, so it's a water fast. I had no food, zero food, but I also had watermelon water, to which I only had a half a cup every 2 hours. I'm drinking tea. I only have like 2 cups of tea throughout the day, and then of course I hydrate or whatever with water or drink water. But the watermelon juice or whatever is for the hydration, so it's for the alkalines and all that shit in it. So a nigga don't feel all shitty and whatever. And I'm telling you, man, today, last couple of times I did it, second day is always the hardest. Even this time, the second day was really, really hard. But I woke up this morning and I was popping, man. And it wasn't even about thinking about food. Right, food wasn't even on my mind. I was just feeling good. I was the sun. I mean, it was 50 degrees in Minnesota too.
Yeah,
you know, it was feeling good. Looked good outside and shit like that. Man, I felt phenomenal. I felt new, and I like that because I'm a symbols person. I like symbols when it comes to life. So with that, this renewal of self. You know, when you fast. You know, your cells
your
break
skin.
down. Yeah, your
You're a
cells
snake.
break down and reevaluate themselves. Whatever,
yeah.
whatever. So this is the year of the snake, as compared to the Chinese zodiac and so on and so forth. So this actually comes right into play with that. It's like shedding that whatever skin, whatever it is, was last year and shit like that, and having a whole new self. And now I got a whole new perspective, a whole new light. Everything feels, smells different and shit like that. Man, it's worth it. I'm telling y'all should get into some kind of fast. You ain't got to do it the way that we did it, but whether it's 24 hours, regardless of what it is, try to get into it because it's a good way for you to fight off viruses and stuff like that. When your body is a lot stronger in fighting off viruses. So I'm telling you, I feel good.
Well,
damn good.
Not to get off on a tangent or anything, but sorry.
Ricky must have
Yeah.
hit you.
I don't know what this nigga said. But I was gonna say to you that the spiritual aspect of the fast is what people should really understand, right?
Mhm.
Because you come in tune with more when your will is to not eat, right? You start to learn how strong you are as a person, as a being, as who you are. Hey man, like listen, it takes willpower to not eat. It takes willpower, and some of us been poor.
Yeah.
And when you get that feeling in your stomach, you like, nah, man, I gotta
Yeah.
eat. I don't care what nobody's saying. So you gotta make yourself say, no, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna eat. I'm not gonna eat. And yeah, you're right. It makes you feel like a totally new man.
Yeah. You know what's dope is I remember you telling everybody that story about you and your first incident or whatever, and it's just because you was hungry and you had to do what you had to do because you was fucking hungry. I mean, dead ass hungry. Like your mind had to say, "This got to get done because I'm hungry."
Mm-hmm.
And now you're on the opposite end of it and control of it. So that's a beautiful
the
ass
whole
fucking,
gamut, right?
Yeah,
Going through the whole
yeah,
gamut.
That's
of it.
fucking dope as hell.
Will kill you because I'm hungry. To I'm starving myself on purpose.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
That's dope. All
Yeah.
right. So we do got a guest today, and we're gonna bring her on, and I'm actually going to. Where the hell's her stuff at? Her guest name is Victoria. Oh my god, I gotta take these shits off so I can read. Alessandra. That's Spanish. Italian. Alessandra. I don't know. My Italian's way off.
The way she said Italian, like, is Italian Spanish? Spain?
It's a Latin language, so it's got
Latin?
a lot of the same
Okay.
dynamics.
Okay.
But I'm going to intro our guest. And yes, I had to take these shits off because I ain't got my readers, and it's dim in this
Wow.
motherfucker.
Oh man, they laughing at him. I know, man. I could see like an eagle, and here this nigga
Yeah.
is talking something he needs.
Be careful what you say at your mouth, because
Like
karma's a bitch.
I better shut up.
But you say too much.
I better shut it right up. Right quick.
So Victoria is known on social media as Victoria Banks. She's an entrepreneur, wellness coach, and spiritual guide specializing in mindset, personal wellness, and spiritual healing. With 25 years of experience studying and practicing wellness techniques, including yoga, meditation, and energy healing, she has dedicated her life to helping others find balance and transformation. She's also set to graduate with a Master's of Divinity this year. Kudos.
Nice.
Further deepening her understanding of faith and spirituality. Her mission is to create accessible pathways for people to move from survival to thriving, opening doors for them to live life on their terms, rooted in joy and freedom. She believes in cultivating holistic foundations for success by nurturing potential, empowering growth, and transforming ambitions into achievements. For her, wellness isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. When we reclaim our well being, we reclaim our power. Please step up to the mic.
I ain't gonna be clapping. Fuck no. I quit right now. Going forward, I'm not gonna be the one clapping.
Right, it
If
should
we
be the
can't get
background.
a clap machine or that noise, because game shows be having it, but it seems weird for me to be clapping for every guest. My hands too big.
And it sound loud as hell.
Why you being cheap? Can we just get the clap machine, man? The fork. Y'all two clap. Y'all sound good. Yeah. There we go. There we go. See, that's the nigga. I'm trying to tell you.
All right, Victoria, welcome to the Gator Mamba Show.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you coming up. This is a very, we appreciate this particular show, especially because this is a deep show when it comes to he and I, because he and I are on this journey, and I can't tell you how often he and I speak in regards to, just spirituality, movement, mastering self, all of those types of elements. And people don't think that Black men talk about that shit, but we actually do. So appreciate you coming on board and sharing your intellect. But one of the questions that we always start with. Oh,
You asked that question.
go ahead.
I just want to give the audience a introduction into why she's here. We feel as if right now
See, he could have
everybody.
introed her. See the shit? He could have introed her. Go ahead. Could have just introed her.
We feel as if right now people are extra stressed. You're scared. You're fearful. You don't know if ICE coming to get you. You don't know if a tariff coming to get you. You don't know what the hell is gonna happen to you tomorrow. So we want to give people a option of clearing themselves and getting rid of the fear by some type of way, right? It could be spiritual, it could be religious, whatever you into. But here go our way.
Right. You got a dynamic right now of people that are doing what they do when they fear something. So they fight flight, and freeze.
And fawn.
And what?
Fawn.
What's fond?
What is fun?
People pleasing. Try to make people happy so that you feel
Oh,
safe.
okay. We got to talk about that one.
What the fuck is that?
That's the first time I heard it.
I know everybody do it, but that's the
Right,
thing.
right. That's,
It's a thing. It's one of the 4.
Ah,
Fight, flight, and
Thought it was only
freeze is
3.
the most common ones. But
Okay,
fawn is
but-
also a response.
ah.
Like maybe one that people don't like to talk about. That's why you hear about it. But thank you
Ah.
for having me. And I'm glad that I'm here. And I appreciate that you guys are having these conversations because I think we all need to have more of these conversations, right?
Yep.
Our people need to start having these conversations because this is how we move forward into having opportunities in life, into moving towards having the lives that we desire and in freedom, right? Because if we're not healing, if we're not having these conversations, who do we talk to? Right? Because we're not probably going to talk to some random person on the street. If we can't talk to the people that we love and trust, where do we go?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, before we cut into it, we have a question that we always ask our guests, and that's specific to the point of our origin story and specific to the point where we have this saying on here, still can't breathe. So that comes from what George Floyd said when he was murdered. So we typically ask folks, where were you when George Floyd was murdered?
The first time I remember is my mom actually showed me the video. I heard about it the same day. And my mom handed me the video and she's like, "Did you hear about what just happened? Watch this video." And I watched the video and I didn't even get to the part where he actually passed. I just started bawling. Like tears were streaming down my face. My shirt was wet. And I was like, this cannot keep happening. Like, this is not okay. And I had no idea the kind of response that we were going to see to that event. It was the first time that they had protests all the way, like across the world. Most of the countries in the world had protests over what happened to George Floyd. So it brought, everybody knows. I'm sure everybody knows, right? Lots of people are insulated, but everybody knows that there's racism and there's prejudice and there's all these things happening all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
But rarely do we hear about individual incidences. And when we do, it's most likely things that happen close to us.
Yeah.
So the fact that something like this spread across the entire world and sparked such outrage and such passion to make something happen, I think was really beautiful. Unfortunate that had happened in that way, but beautiful the support that was poured out to America and our citizens and our people.
Yeah, I kind of likely that that energy at that time, in some similarities to remember that feeling when we heard that Obama won presidency the first time. The excitement, and you can kind of feel it. The energy in the air was just everywhere. It was thick. So it's the same, and I'm not saying the excited energy, but you can still feel that energy after the fact with the aftermath after George Floyd and whatnot. So I can
Wait a minute. You can still feel the energy? What kind of energy? I don't see a lot.
felt the
Oh.
energy, not still feel.
Oh, okay. Copy.
No. So we want to get into some of the things that are kind of happening. There's a lot of shit happening here, specifically in the United States, but I mean, globally, is a bunch of shit happening. And in that, people's mindsets are scrolling, whether they're on the news, streaming or whatever, and they get this influx of negative shit that's happening all the time. So they're taking it all in, and they're taking it all in. Specific stuff like recently there's what's his name, Trump, with the tariffs in regards to Canada and Mexico, and the possible continuation of that. The DEI, we've already kind of talked about that and how that's being affected. We're also talking about the fact that ICE is everywhere and catching everybody. And there was one incident where a lady was, I think she was from Thailand or something or rather, but only had her green card or something, and was trying to come back into the States, but they ended up capturing her and she couldn't come back home. So she was told to stay there, took her green card and stuff like that. So she was left over in Thailand or something or other. So a lot of stuff is happening just all across the board, which is causing a lot of negative energy, feeling, fear or whatever. And in a little bit, we just talked about fear in that sense. So how, in your expertise, can you tell people to deal in regards to all the stuff that's happening?
Yeah, right? Fear, anxiety, feeling uneasy, unsafe, not knowing, confused, not knowing what to do, how to help or what they should be doing. Absolutely. Um, I would start by saying cultivate the things that you're ingesting, right? Just like you're aware of what you eat, be aware of what you consume
Mm.
as far as media goes, right? Like the the news and social media, they have algorithms. So, and the news obviously has an agenda.
Mhm.
This fear and unease and desire um to like what the things we talked about, right? Like fight, flight,
Mm.
freeze, fawn.
Mhm.
Those are intentional responses that they're trying to have us feel.
Yep.
So
Yep.
our first line of defense is not allowing that information into our world in the first place or limiting our consumption of it.
Limiting, that's the biggest factor, because you have a society who is addicted, um, by some, not even by choice.
To
Actually,
scrolling
there was, yeah, but with scrolling, they have designed these social media platforms on purpose,
very intelligently.
very intelligently. Like, they specifically had people that put these algorithms on purpose together to have you addicted to the scrolly aspect. I remember seeing some show or whatever, and they were like, if you have a person first, they've never been on Amazon, right? They log into Amazon. Amazon will look like just a framework at first, but then the more and more they go into their Amazon, the more Amazon changes its color and background, and they don't even necessarily notice it,
Mm-mm.
but the algorithms pick it up or whatnot. So if that's happening just on that particular platform, it's happening on every platform.
Well, wait a minute. Let's talk about what's coming to light right now, right? Um, if you didn't know, the record company settled with Drake.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, they settled with him, right?
Okay.
Gave him that money, right? Because they don't want out that they were intentionally putting rappers against each other, right? This is the whole system that we're talking about, right? The trying to get these algorithms out of
Mhm.
people, right? Same thing happened with the some dude, what's his name, Aaron the plumber. He said that he was going to the police station to make a report on the TV network for telling him, yeah, man, they told me to boost the ratings by fighting, and then they made me look
Oh,
bad. You know what I mean? So it's all about somebody's money, their agenda, what they want, and they're doing it specifically on purpose. And you just getting beat. Your mind is getting beat by their mind.
so propaganda has been an American way since World War I. They found that out. They found out how valuable pushing out propaganda was from World War I. That's why World War II is so infamous, if you will, because of the newspapers and the news and everything like that. They push this fear onto people so often. So being that works so well, it's a consistent and constant thing now. But how do you fight such a big machine?
Well, I think that's a great intro, right? Like everything starts with our ability to choose, right? It's our
Hmm.
divine gift. Whether we choose what's good for us or what we choose what's not good for us, we have that choice. So the ability to cultivate our feeds, especially on social, is possible, right? You've got these magical things now. There's like mute. You can unfollow people. You can look intentionally at the things that make you happy and that make you feel good and make you feel joy and inspiration and motivation. So go and follow people and pages that look like what you want your life to look like and look like the kind of energy that you want to have around you.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's a
I
nice.
I,
That's a
I can
nice.
definitely agree with that, because I know I did an experiment last month. I did an experiment with algorithms, and I was on purpose going through stuff that I usually pay attention to really fast on purpose. I'm just like scroll, and stuff that I'm into is science, universe, spirituality, stuff like that. I'm like paying attention and listening. So all of my algorithms kind of went up that way. So then I was like, let me try to change this. Let me see, because we all know when we say something, this phone is still listening, and we scroll and I was just looking at a certain car on TV. I was like, man, I could use a nice little electric car. Went on my phone and was like, what the fuck? like like that. So I did this experiment and I changed my algorithm on purpose only by doing the same thing, doing the opposite of what I was. I was just looking at, oh, there's a fight there, and there's a cute midget right there and stuff. I'm sorry, little person. Sorry, my bad. Little person right there, right? Did that on purpose, and next thing you know, man, all of my shit was like.
Could you put the censor thing on his mouth when you said that?
I said I apologize. Jay-Z did the same thing. It's like, wait, that's not politically correct. But it is a thing. So when you say that you can have a choice to do so, you do have a choice to change your algorithm. You can decide to pull away from that negative feed that is trying to get you change your mind and put some negativity in your mind. You can do that by changing your algorithm with your swipes and stuff like
Well,
that.
you want me to tell you what I do?
Uh.
My contention is that TikTok is fake. So when I go on there, I'm only going for entertainment. So I scroll. Some make me laugh. Ha ha ha, I chuckle. I scroll. Some make me laugh. Ha ha ha, I chuckle. For about 30 minutes, and then I'm back to doing something else. Just entertainment.
Oh, that's your cure in terms of algorithm? You
My-
don't let
my-
it capture
no,
you,
it can't fuck with me. That they be trying to catch me. But I'm too random for my own goddamn self. So I'm so random they can never catch me. You know what I mean? On nothing, on none of my devices, on nothing. 1 month I'm doing something, 1 month I ain't. You know what I mean? They just can't catch me. So I don't got no algorithm on my phone because they can't catch my favorite color blue. My shit pink.
This nigga
What the
just said
fuck?
he don't have no algorithm. He the only phone
Well, then
fucking
you-
planet that ain't
Well,
got no
I'm
algorithm.
telling you how to do it. But I'm telling you how to get none on yours. Don't pay attention to them. That is your mind against theirs.
All right. Well, I'd like to dig a little deeper into your expertise. Now, can you talk about your history with your service, your what you do?
Yeah, of course. Like most people, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing started from my own personal journey.
Mm.
So I was I had a lot of angst as a young person, a lot of anger, and a lot of frustration because the outside world didn't support or appreciate me as I was. That's how I saw it as a young person. And so I got into yoga and meditation in high school, and it took off from there. And it was one of those things that I just kept turning back to. New age spirituality and digging. I'm a curious person. I love to learn, obviously, right?
Mm.
To go as far as getting a master's degree, especially in something as esoteric as a master's of divinity, it denotes curiosity.
Mm.
So constantly digging to find answers, and it was a place that consistently throughout my life, every time I had something challenging happen, I could dive into that space and I could find an answer and I could find peace. And so that's what I did. And I actually resisted for a long time becoming a practitioner because I was like, oh, I'm not going to make enough money. Oh, I don't want to just work with anybody. Oh, like all of these ideas that we have. It's normal as an entrepreneur to have all these ideas about why you can't or why it's not going to be good for you to do something. And of course, the universe has other plans for you.
Right.
And so when I did start my business, I actually started my business in 2020 in the middle of our first shutdown, like at the beginning of our first shutdown. And it took off like crazy. And 6 months in,
Sure.
yeah, and 6 months in, I was like, this is incredible. Why have I been resisting this? Not only do I love it, but I feel more energized at the end of an 18-hour day than I do when I wake up in the morning. And it's not just for me. Like, I have done a lot of things. I've been relatively successful in my life, thank God, right? Like I've had money and I've gotten to travel and I've gotten to experience a lot of things, and those are beautiful things, but there's this emptiness that comes when you don't have, the deeper things in life. And I didn't know what it was. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew that it was there. And so I was still searching. And when I started this business, it was the first time in my life that I felt fulfillment. And it was this, oh, it's not just about me. I'm making other people's lives better. And not just the people that I'm working with directly, but I'm making their families, their spouses, their friends, their children's lives better. And I had people tell me that, which is why it hit so hard. It hit my heart. And after that, I was like, oh, yeah, this is it.
Mm. So did your background come from like a religious and then transition to understanding the spiritual
It
or
went the other way, actually, which
okay.
I would, if you would have told me that's what was going to happen, I would have been like, yeah, no, you don't know what you're talking about. As a lot of people, I had some very unpleasant experiences with organized religion as a young person.
Right.
And so I completely went the other way. I liked, new age spirituality. And I always said that if I was going to be a religion, if I had to pick one, I'd probably be Taoist.
Okay.
And I'm not now. Now I am a Sufi. I'm a practicing Sufi, and my
Is that
master's.
a religion? A Sufi?
So,
Islam, right?
Sufism's roots are in Islam, but you don't have to be a
So
Muslim.
Muhammad.
Yeah, but you don't have to be Muslim. It grew out of the Abrahamic faiths. So Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all are the same chain of faith.
Mm-hmm.
So it grew out of that.
But it's a religion.
It's a pathway to God. That's how Sufism is described.
Is it titled a religion?
No, it's a
Are you
pathway
sure?
to. Yeah, I'm sure. You can be
What do you call it?
you can be a Christian Sufi, a
What-
Jewish
what did
Sufi,
you
a
call it? A
Buddhist
Sufi?
Sufi. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be a
Yeah.
Christian Sufi. I remember.
Is the religious name Sufi a religion?
Really? I don't know. What the hell? So, I guess you got to get your answer first.
Oh, it's a mystical practice of Islam.
Yeah.
Is that,
It's the mystical arm of Islam, but it's the formal title is a pathway to God,
Okay.
right? Just
Okay.
like, but there are hundreds of thousands of pathways to God.
Right.
I say to my clients that there are as many ways to get to God as there are people that ever have been and ever will be,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because your path and your journey is your own.
I get it.
But
I
this
get
is
it.
this is just a framework that allows people to systematically move through that process.
Mm.
And I found it not because somebody told me that this is what I should do, but I've found by tasting it that this was right for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I followed it.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Now, I had somewhat of a similar pathway. I kind of grew up Baptist or whatnot, Baptist,
Yeah.
but I was basically asked too many questions to the pastor, and finally, or not even the pastor, in Sunday school and vacation Bible school and all that, I had to ask all these questions and all these stories, right? And I was just to think outside the box kind of kid, I guess. So eventually, I asked so many questions to where I was called into the pastor's office. He was like, basically, if you got so many questions like this, it sounds like you lack faith. Maybe this ain't the right place for you. So I said,
Ah,
maybe
Mm.
not.
Mm.
So I said, deuce.
man, that's the worst.
I'm outta here.
I think it's so unfortunate that so many people have had such negative experiences with
Mhm.
organized religion.
Because they want blind faith, and if I want to dig down deeper into it, you want you want masses religion personally, and I'm not the type. I'm the type to explore any and everything to make it make sense. You can't just tell me it's raining and be pissing on my head. That's just not my style.
Yeah. And I think that's why I was drawn to Sufism, because at first I was actually turned off by it, by the rhetoric that they spoke of. But they presented it in a way, my school presented it in a way that said, taste it, take what's for you and leave what's not. But try it and see how it feels inside of you. And it's taken me on the most beautiful journey of transformation and growth and healing. And so yeah.
So
And
you've
I
had
wish
a number of clients over the years. Then I would imagine still to this day.
yes,
You have a practice?
I do.
Where is it located? Can you announce that to everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to find me personally, you can find me on Instagram. It's Victoria_Banks_. I have I'm in the process of transitioning my business from working completely one-on-one with individual clients in person to having an online space. And that was important to me because I want to make this pathway, this journey accessible to our people, right? And working with me one-on-one is not cheap. And so it's not accessible to most people. And the things that I did to find my journey and to heal throughout the different layers, right? Physical, emotional, spiritual, my ego, my soul. it cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars over 20 years. And that's not something that most people can do. And
Mm.
so I wanted to make the teachings, the lessons, and the community available to people at a much larger scale. So if you want to follow the progress, you can definitely check me out on Instagram. The websites and all of those things will be going live this year for the new iteration of the business.
I got a question. But before I ask the question, you do know that OOI can get your websites and all your digital technological needs together. Beyond that, what is your big vision for your practice?
There's a couple of different things that I want to do personally, but my vision for helping people heal, I want to open community health and wellness centers that are not dependent on people's ability to pay, that are holistic centers that take a whole person view on the different levels and have multidisciplinary practitioners come in and work together as a team to help people move through the things that are challenging them.
Okay, any more goals? Any more, things that you are striving to be? You don't want a Victoria. Oh, Scar, excuse me. You don't want a Victoria Banks in several cities across America and online?
Yeah, so more personally, the work that I want to do on an everyday basis, I love working with my clients one-on-one. It's something that really fuels me. It's really beautiful to see the depth and the massive changes across people's lives, and I really enjoy that. So instead of working with people in one-on-one all the time, I want to start hosting wellness retreats. So that's something that I'm working on. As you know, I got in a car accident recently, and so it's prohibited the work of my one-on-one at this time, but that's something that will be happening in the future.
What can one expect with like a sit down, a one-on-one with you? What would one expect with you?
So I like to call myself a guide, right? I do healing work, so a lot of people would say that I'm a healer, but the only healer is the divine, right? Healing is recognizing the truth. It's shedding our misbeliefs and our ideas about life and people and our experiences and understanding what's really underneath all of those things. So I help people do that.
How's that different than a life coach?
A life coach can also help you do those things, right? There's similar, right? Like health and wellness, spirituality, personal growth, for me, those industries are not separate.
Okay.
Because a person is a whole person. Your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health are all tied together. So when you make positive changes in one, you're going to naturally make positive changes in the other ones. I believe, from my perspective, that life coaching and transformational coaching is more focused on people, on the outward expression of what you want your life to look like, your habits, and your and how you move forward through that, which is not separate, right? Because I do that too. It's important. But mine is more going inside first, because when you change what's going on inside of you, the outside changes naturally. You don't have to try as hard.
So I did before the cameras went on, I mentioned how we do a orientation kind of thing with a lot of our de-escalation specialists to help them get some clarity on things, specifically in regards to managing fear and anger, right? And since we're kind of talking about fear and anger, one of those elements, one of those things that I kind of talk to them about is living in the present. And in living in the present, you're less likely to live in your imagination, to which fear no longer exists. So I'm wondering, what is your thought in regards to, staying in the present and anxiety and or depression and folks dealing with it today, running from ice and shit?
Can I take a little twist off of what you said?
Sure.
So when you work on yourself, you have the ability to know and learn skills that allow you to adapt to any situation that you encounter, right? And if you look at our history, no matter how much, well, we all have problems. We've all had things happen, and a lot of us have had really terrible things happen to us in the past, but we're still here. right? And every day, it goes back to what I started with. Every day is a new opportunity. It's an opportunity to wake up and make a new choice. And so if we can wake up and put ourselves in the space of this is an opportunity, it's a possibility for something good, and that it's moving me towards my highest and best good, and we live from that space, it makes it a lot easier for us to have peace and be centered.
But how do I get there? So coming from a dark, negative muck, how do I get to today is an opportunity for me to change? How do I get there? Because I can't go from I know people might think that you could listen to this podcast and then tomorrow you could just say today's today.
Right.
No,
Like
it's got to be internal and it's got to be for real in order for that to happen. And in my experience, it takes years to really hone in. Now is the now. Most people live in the past. Most people live in the future, but nobody lives right now for now.
Which is where that deep inner healing work comes from. When we start to process the things that have happened in our past and see the truth, it allows us to let them go. Instead of just saying, I'm going to ignore them or I'm going to do what I need to do to be in survival. Like we are in survival, right? We do what we need to do to feel okay right now in this moment while we're pushing all of the things that have happened down, and it doesn't go away. We're not actually pushing it away from us. We're pushing it inside, and then we carry it with us.
So I gotta let it go.
It begins by pulling all that stuff back out. And
how do I let it go?
it starts by feeling it. And that is
Acknowledging it.
you acknowledging it, yes, right? Like psychology takes a look at our awareness of ourselves. So it's a good starting ground, but in my opinion, it doesn't change anything, right? It just creates awareness, which is an important first step. But once you have the awareness, which you can do on yourself, by yourself, you sit with it and you allow yourself to feel the things that we have spent our entire lives not feeling, right? Running from. And when you do that, it can be excruciating, but it allows space and freedom, because you can only see the truth when you go through it. Because this experience, these things are like veils. You can't see what's on the other side of the veil if you keep pushing it away and hiding and sticking the veil in a closet. It's still going to be there. You have to walk through it to get to the other side. And once you walk through it, you have the light of truth can be seen inside your being, and that's what makes the real change.
I like to say when my daughter passed, a song came on. It was The Bear Hunt, Gracie's Corner. Going on a bear hunt. You got to go through it. You got to go through it, right? That's all I kept hearing at that time is you got to go through it. You got to go through it, right? And as I've been going on this journey, it's going through it. It's not running from it. It's not hiding it. You know, I felt me trying to push it down. I felt it. I felt me. But then I was like, nope. You know, I had to grab it. I had to pull it up and I had to look at it because I was like, I had pushed too much. I had got rid of a lot of stuff. And I didn't want to push nothing back in there when I already took everything out. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to be in the now. And when I'm in the now, I'm better than thinking about the past or thinking about the future. Really, really, right now, all I'm doing is talking. That's it. I'm talking to you. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm totally fine speaking to you right now. That's all I got to be anytime.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Right
That's
now.
all I got to be is right here. That's it. Gator, and some tea.
And I think that's what you were talking about, Mama, right? It's like being in the
present
moment. And when you're here in this moment, you can have, it's like a mantra. You can tell yourself in this moment, I am safe here now.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I think is going to happen in the future and whatever has happened to me in the past is not right here.
Yep.
Right now, for us, right? Not always, right? Things happen. But for us right now, we're sitting in this room. The door's locked. We're around people. Nothing terrible is happening. There's not fire. There's not flood. There's not famine. Right? We're in our bodies. We have food. We have a roof over our head. We're safe.
Yep.
So if we keep telling ourselves that in this moment, I am safe right here and right now, we can move. When we move from that space, it allows us to have peace and be in equilibrium.
All techniques and or um learning is to get yourself to be in the now. So all the
Mm-hmm.
trainings, all the knowledge, the experiences, everything is to teach you just be right here.
I remember in church they used to say a lot of stuff, but one of the things I remember that I never understood back in the days because it was just sounded stupid to me. But they were like, sometimes you just need to be still, right? The old people would say that,
Mm-hmm.
just be
Mm-hmm.
still. I'm like, what the fuck? If I'm still mad, right? It didn't help, right? But as you get older and wiser, you understand that being still means to be here, be in this present, be in this moment, and this moment is this moment that should be cherished, enjoyed, or whatever it is. But this is this moment. The future and the past are two different things, but being still allows you to think about self, think about your place in the world, whatever the case, but it allows you to just hush and stop the voices of the past and the future, if you
And
will.
and all the other voices, right? That whisper on our shoulders and tell us this and that.
Mm-hmm.
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 And that's the birthplace of love and creativity and connection is right here and tapped in to our heart and with other people. And our society doesn't is designed. We talked about that in the beginning, right? How social media, the news, it's all designed to push us out of that.
Yep.
Yep.
And our
Yep.
culture is all around achievement and what our life is going to look like in the
Could
future.
be right. Right.
Yeah, and so it's where it's conditioned into us at a very young age. All of us kids were like, I can't wait until I grow up. I want to be a
Mhm.
grown up. I get to be free. I get to do this. I get to do that. Don't have to listen to you tell me. I can do what I want to, right? And that's a state of being,
Yep.
of living in the future, and it never comes because tomorrow is
Mhm.
always going to be
Mhm.
tomorrow.
And we got
Mhm.
a
Tomorrow's
whole
never going to come.
we got a whole generation right now. I just read a couple of articles about this current generation and Gen Z and Gen Alpha. I think they call it Alpha, but it said that they're the anxious generation, right? They're anxious, so they're always living in the future because everything that they're doing pushes them in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Even video games, they're playing a game right now. They're on this board. They don't get a chance to explore and really enjoy the board. They're like, I need to pass this board so I can go
Mhm.
to the next, and I can get this prize and that prize or whatever. So everything in their life is about going to the next thing, and they're never enjoying the now. Great shit. So we want to wrap this up, but I want to thank you for coming on this. This is a great topic because, like I said, he and I we have many and many many hours sitting down talking about philosophy, theology, science, technology, etc. One would not think that he and I would sit down and, and actually do this, but we actually literally do
No,
it all the
they just think
time.
we niggas.
Yeah, they just think
It's
two
okay.
niggas from the project.
It's okay.
But no, we intellectualize, and the reason why we putting it on this platform is so that more people can see that it's all right to stay in the present, to build, to learn, to educate, to inform, to feel, really. You know what I'm saying? To understand. And oh, this is one thing I definitely want to have everybody understand. Understand that the goal in life is the journey. The journey is the goal. So there is no necessarily mastering self is the most difficult to do. So the journey on
That's because you
mastering
can never
yourself,
master
that
self.
is right, because you can never master yourself. The journey is the goal.
Yep.
That's what you're supposed to be in. That's why you're staying in the present. You stay in the present so you can understand each and every moment in that present because that's the journey. So I want to thank you for coming through. This was enlightening, very, very touching, very needed, especially at this particular time. With all of this bullshit happening, it's great to hear a voice of reason through the silver lining and all of this and whatnot. So thank you for coming through.
Before I go, thank you for having me, first of all.
Absolutely.
It's an honor to be here. Can you tell me about some of the things that you do to center yourself? How do you take care of yourself and how do you connect?
Me personally, well,
Yeah, absolutely.
I meditate every morning. My meditation is I sit in the dark. I put my headphones on and I listen to what do you call it? The bowl thing? Bowl?
Singing
The
bowls.
singing bowls, right? And I just do my deep breaths and whatnot. And in doing so, it's funny. I've been telling people this. When I be closing my eyes and the singing bowls or whatever, like usually when you close your eyes, you can feel your eyeballs go like this, sometimes, right? When I do the singing bowls, my shit be like, like literally with the bowls. It freaks me the hell out, but I be on a whole nother plane and stuff. So it feels excellent. So not only that, I'm always working out. I'm always giving. It's just my cup of tea. I'm just a giving person. I don't let a lot of negativity in, and when it does, I know how to manage, or what do you call it? Bounce it off or whatnot. Um, Read all the time. So it's just a lot of things: eating, exercising, meditation, and making sure that I have resonating company around, so that I can continue to build that energy off of.
Jesus, the longest
Cultivating your
answer in the
circle.
Fuck
world.
off. See, he ain't
Well,
a part of it.
Have you guys talked about how different stimuli actually affect our brain waves, and that's why you're seeing the difference in your eye movements?
No.
So different stimuli, especially sound. Sound is a really powerful influencer of our internal rhythms inside of our body and our brain waves.
Mm-hmm.
And that, depending on what brain wave you're in, your eye movement changes.
Oh,
So that's why you're having that
that's why I'm doing
experience.
it. You learn something every day. What? I thought I was a bit weird. I was like, I wonder if anybody else is like.
We learned you got a long ass answer. Is what we learned.
Well, why don't you shorten your answer?
Well,
I ain't got no question.
you started by, or you ended it
She
by
asked
saying
you the
that
same thing.
beyond, cultivating the things that you intake is like you take that to all levels of your life. So who
Mhm.
are you around, right?
Mm-hmm.
You asked one way that you can start to move from that place of doom and gloom into something more positive. Who are you around? Are the people, is everybody that you're around have that attitude, that mindset, that awareness,
What
right?
did we say in training?
It's awareness.
What is your best word? Watch who you're around.
Protect your energy.
Yeah.
Protect your energy. Because what they say, when you lie down with the dogs, you're bound to catch fleas. And I tell them, it don't matter how often you lie down with the dog, you're still gonna catch fleas regardless of how often you are. So protect
even
your
if it's
energy.
So what
once in a
about
while.
these young fellas? I'm sorry, I know we closing out, but what about these young fellas? And they just too scared to get from around the people who they around because of the protection that they can give and or what they're going to do to them if they don't do what they say.
It's what they're used to.
But how do they get out?
Change your environment.
How? I live with my mama.
Move somewhere else.
Tell my mama
I'm
to
a
move.
teenager.
Right. What?
Take steps to make that a reality, right? As a child, we're talking about a different situation, right? Most children don't have the ability to the autonomy, but you do have the ability to start learning skills and resources and putting yourself around people that are going to help you move forward in your life.
I like that.
So young people, come to
Exploration.
Octo Games June 18th and 19th. You'll have a whole bunch of resources, people around. That'll be your first reach out to learn about different structures and different opportunities for you to get out of that negativity and come into some positivity.
And we gonna give you some big money to do it. You gonna have enough money for the whole summer. The grand prize is $5,000. All you gotta do is beat all the games.
Indeed.
You got 8 games, beat them all. Your money.
So lastly, I want you to talk about your business again. You point your finger, so you got a question
Yeah,
for
because
him.
Gator didn't answer our question. So what are the things that you do?
Sure.
Right? That's the purpose of this, or the topic for this podcast. And I'm sure they didn't come on here to hear me as much as I'm glad that I'm here and I'm honored that I get to share their space. They came here to hear you guys. So
Oh hell, we getting yelled at or something. Oh no, he ain't. What I do is I continue to explore and learn me. My whole thing is self-mastery. I can beat everybody. Can't beat me. And me be kicking me ass. And so I'm fighting back because I don't like to get beat.
Can y'all hashtag that? Me be kipping me ass.
I mean, seriously, I be kicking my ass. That's why I quit drinking, right? Because I kept telling myself, well, every new year, I'm gonna quit. Every new year, I'm drinking. So I'm like, nah, I ain't finna just keep losing. I'm just not. I'm not. So therefore, I realized that it's me who stops me. It ain't nothing. Matter of fact, y'all could be illusions. Unless you in my life to actually do something with me and for me, you might just be background noise.
That's a good point. You know, people talk about the feeling of being used, right?
Chair shrink?
He did.
Who's?
Mine did. I just went way down and you know, people feel like they're not around people that they can trust, or they can't, or that people are trying to use them in some way. Well, let's start with yourself. How do I become valuable to the people around me? How do I bring value to people's life? Because if somebody can't use you and benefit from you, you're useless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a servant to the people. That's my job. I'm a servant to the people.
So when we become valuable, it's natural for us to put ourselves in alignment with people who are valuable to us too.
Yeah.
And create valuable relationships with other people.
Like-mindedness. So can you tell us one more time about your business and where can we find you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me online on social media. Instagram is my preferred place. It's Victoria_Banks_. I will be posting all of the updates about the new programs that I'm releasing. I've got a free worksheet that I created just for the podcast. So any of you guys users that want to hear, that have a self-care assessment and a list of things that you can do to provide self-care for yourself, wellness practices that help you ground in the moment, you can go to my Instagram, shoot me a DM, and I will send it right over to you.
Excellent.
Nice.
That's what's up.
Well, I need you to give a shout out to a Black business.
I actually, I have to look it up.
Yikes.
I've been to a couple really beautiful like co-working spaces this year. One was in South Minneapolis, and then one was actually in Uptown, and it was I'm not sure if it's specifically a person of color, but it's for queer people of color, the spaces.
Okay.
And it was called Queermunity, and I went to a really beautiful healing retreat there 2 weekends ago, and it's right on Hennepin and Lake.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out.
And there's a bunch of Black business owners that have space in there. So it's a one-stop community.
Nice. I got mine. However, before I do, you asked for something from me before I left. You said, hey, man, bring me back some tequila.
Oh, yeah. Bring back real tequila.
No, nigga, you didn't say real tequila. You said bring me back tequila. I'm bringing you back some real tequila. But you told me to bring you back some tequila, is what you said.
I did.
So let me explain what I'm giving to you. So what they told me is that tequila is aged by a plant in
The agave plant.
the agave plant. And it's either aged 1 year, 3 years, or 7 years. The 7 years the limit, because after 7 years it start fermenting and it don't work. So if you can get it to the 7 years, but it takes 7 years, so they say that people don't do it because you ain't gonna yield. What you do is you start with 50 liters, you get 10 liters after it's done. So you don't make a huge profit off it. So don't nobody do it because first of all, it takes too long. Second of all, you ain't gonna get a whole bunch of profits, a whole bunch of barrels. So all you can really sell it is to your personal circle.
Oh, sure.
And so they really ain't making it for 7 years no more. So now you got the 3 year, the 1 year, and then you got your Patron
For fast production.
and then they say that Patron is poison,
Garbage.
and they say that you can look it up right now. You can Google it. It's gonna tell you that it's 100% agave. However, and it's made in Jalisco. Jalisco was where I was at too, and so. In Jalisco, they said it was poison. So the people who, what you're claiming got to be false. Either way you look at it, this is that 7 year boy, because I had to get the best. I ain't gonna just cheap out on you. So I got you the best, the best boy. But can you give us a little squeak of that, just to let us know how it tastes?
Sure. I would have to take my time to open it something.
Yeah, I think we got time, Ricky, my man.
Shout out to a Black-owned business, man.
All right, while we doing that, I'm gonna give a shout out to my man Deontay, GameStop. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be over there. I need a drink or two. No, I don't, because I don't drink.
Well, yeah,
But
I was
I'm
gonna.
gonna fuck with you though.
You said Patron is poison. All alcohol is poison. Alcohol is toxic to every single cell in our body. So Whether it's the good stuff or not good stuff, you're putting poison in your body.
No, that's that personal shot, boy. You gotta stop acting retarded, man. I agree with you, and that's why I don't drink. Actually, what you said, every time I drink it, my mind says it was poison, and I don't know where that came from, but.
Well, they also say that
that is
Oh my God, nigga,
delicious.
7-year boy. Yeah,
alcohol is
yeah.
spirits.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Oh,
I know you telling. I know
boy.
The balance. It's all about balance.
It's all about balance. It's all about balance. All right, close us out, man. Close us out, man. Stop.
I gotta give my shout out to Camden Social. Camden Social, they just got Restaurant of the Year. Kudos to you as far as in Minneapolis. Respect. I love that that area, that place. Fonzie and his significant other or wife, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Stop
but
it.
I know y'all got a business together. Y'all are dope. I appreciate y'all. The city appreciates y'all and what y'all done. So Camden Social, kudos. Good luck.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's a pleasure.
Yep.
Thank you.
yep.
Thank you.
Anytime.
And to all of y'all, do not forget to subscribe, to share, to like. We out.